Now in today's class, we'll start discussing about the approval process. So as we know that there are types of approvals. Guys, what the types of approvals we'll have? There are two types of approvals is there. One is single level approval, that is getting the approvals from the managers. Second is multi-level approvals, getting the approvals from the manager and also from HR. So these 2 points, how to get the approvals, how to create an approval process, getting the approvals from the manager, and how to get the approvals from more than one person, that is from manager and also from HR, we'll discuss now in today's session. So among these two, first let me go and discuss about single level approvals. So in today's class, first we'll go and discuss about the single level approvals. So that is getting the approvals from the managers. Now see, for this single level approval, I'm going to take one scenario. So what's my scenario here is, I'm going to take the leave approval case, leave request. Let's say if you are working in any one organization, if you want to take the leave, we need to go and submit the leave request. So what you need to submit the leave request. So by using the Power Apps, I'm going to create one app now. So by with the help of Power Apps, I'm going to create an app. Now, whenever the employee wants to submit the leave request, the employee can go and open the app, and then the employee go and submit the leave request. Once the employee submits the leave request, that request details, that leave request details will comes into where? Data sources. The data source I'm taking here is SharePoint. Once the data comes into the data sources, by taking that data as a reference, whoever the employee is submitting the leave request, I want to go and do some automations. What's my automation is raising the approval request, sending the approval request to whom? Manager. So this is what my request requirement is. So we'll go and discuss about the leave approval process. By using Power Apps, I want to go and create an app. Once after creating the app with the help of Power Apps, uh, whenever the employee wants to submit the leave request, they can go and open the app, and then they can go and submit the leave request. Once the leave request is submitted, the data comes into SharePoint list. Whenever the data comes into the SharePoint list, I want to go and start the approval process using Power Automate. Now how to go and do it, we'll discuss now. So this is what my scenario is. When the employee submits the leave request, I want to send an email to that employee regarding the leave request has been submitted successfully. So once the leave request has been uh, submitted, then I want to send an email to the employee regarding the leave request has been submitted successfully. And also, I need to send an email to the manager to approve or reject the leave request. So these are the things I need to go and do here, guys. The employee need to go and submit the leave request by using Power Apps. And once the employee submit the leave request, I want to send an email to that employee regarding that leave request has been submitted successfully. And then I want to send an email to the manager to approve or reject the leave request. So this is what my scenario. So I'm taking the data source as what here? Use the SharePoint as my data source. I'm going to take the SharePoint as my data source. Next, so I want to create one list in the SharePoint, guys. So SharePoint list schema. So I'm going to create one list called leave approvals. So in that list, I'm having fields. These are the fields. So what fields I'm having here is, one is leave type. In the leave type is a choice column. Here I'm having the different types of leave types, guys. Casual leave, medical leave, paid leave, sick leave. So there are some different leaves over there. I'm keeping 3 leaves here: casual, medical, and paid leave. And next, description. So description is a multi-line of text. So what is the reason why the employee is taking the leave? So the employee need to give some description here. Next, from date and to date. So both are the date columns. From which date to which date the employee is taking the leave. And status. What is the status of that employee leave request? So it is a choice column. First, whenever the employee is submitting the leave request, the status is submitted. Next, waiting for manager approval, whether the manager can approve or the manager can reject. So this is the status column. Next, there is one more column, manager field is there. So under the manager field, this is also choice column. Here I'm going to keep some of the managers case. Let's say I'm going to keep the managers as Sunil, and next manager I'm going to keep here is Anil Kumar. This is another. Let's take Sunil is one manager, Anil is one manager, and let's take myself. I'm going to assign myself as manager. Let's say Venki at the rate yn60. So these are the manager choice column. I'm going to keep some manager emails here. And next comments, manager comments case. Once the manager is approved, so manager will give some comments. I want to mention the manager comments here. If the manager is rejected, so what are the comments the manager is providing? I want to go and mention here. So this is the schema of that list. So let me go and open the SharePoint and let me show you what is the list I'm creating and what's the columns I'm having in that list. Let me go and open the SharePoint. Fine. Let me connect to the a site called Power Automate or Power Automate Flows. Let me check where we have that list. Here it is not there. Just go back. Let me go to the Power Automate Flows. So here I'm having the list. So in the Power Automate Flows is my site. So in this site, I'm having a list called leave approvals. Let me go to the list case. Select the list name leave approvals. So this is the list I'm having. Let's remove the data. So I don't want to keep any data in this. Just remove the data. Now here guys, let me go to the list schema. So go to the list settings. Under the list settings, we are able to see the schema of that list. So what is the schema of this list? So this is the schema. So what are the columns I'm having here? So these are the columns guys. One is description column. Second one is leave type, from date to date, status, who is the manager, manager comments, HR comments. So in today's session, we'll discuss about the single level approval. So we'll go and discuss up to here itself. So in the next class, we'll go and discuss about the HR approvals. So this is the list I'm having. So if you see in this list, when I go to the managers, it is a choice column. So who are the managers is there is? Let me go and show you who I am keeping as a manager's case. It is a choice column. So Sunil is one manager. Anil Kumar is one manager. Myself, I'm assigning as one manager. So these are the managers I'm having. So let me go and click on OK. So this is the list I'm having, list schema. I want to go and enter the data into this list from Power Apps. So in the Power Apps, I want to go and create one simple app now. From Power Apps, I want to go and submit the data into this list. So this is the list I'm having. Let me go and open the Power Apps now. Let me go and open the Power Apps. Now in the Power Apps, I want to go and create a form, or I want to go and create one simple app guys, just to submit the leave request. So let me go to the create tab. Let me go and create an app here. Let me go and select the blank app. Let me create it. Let me keep the type as, what is the name of that app is leave request. Leave request. Click on create. Fine. Let me go and keep some header. I want to keep some header for this. Let me keep the header as leave request. Fine. Now let me go and add one form here guys. I want to go and add one form to submit the leave request. Let me go and add one form. Let me go and click on edit, add the edit form. Fit this form to the screen. Fit this form to the screen. Fine. Now see, by default, this form is not connected to any data. I want to connect to the data. Now what's the data source I want to connect to this form? So I want to connect to the data source called what? SharePoint. Let me go and connect to the data source. Go to the data view. Go to the data. Click on add data and search here for what? SharePoint. Select the data source as SharePoint. Now by default, it will shows the site name. What is the site name? Power Automate Flows. Just go and select the site Power Automate Flows. In this site, what is the list I want to connect? Leave approvals. Select the list as leave approvals. Click on connect. I'm going to connect to the data source here. Yes. What's the data source? SharePoint. What's the list name? Leave approvals. Once after connecting the data, go to the tree view. Select the form. Select the form. and then go to the data source. The form has one property called data source property. By default is not connected to any data. I want to connect to data source is what? Leave approvals. Now when I select the data source as leave approvals, so by default, based on the fields I'm having in the SharePoint list, automatically the Power Apps is going to create one form, guys. By taking those fields as a reference, it's going to take one form like structure. Now see, I want to change the font style, font weight, and font color, guys. So how to go and change it? So select the form. There is one shortcut. Select the form. If you want to go and change for each and every data code, it will take some time. So there is one shortcut for this. Select the form and go to the layout property, change the layout to horizontal and click on Control Z. Now it is going to select all the data codes. Now I want to, what the changes I want to do it here. I want to change the font style. I want to change the font weight or font size. Let me change it to 26. I want to change the font size. Keep it in the semi bold. Fine. This is what I want to do here, guys. Now once after this, now I want to keep the number of columns, and also first before that, so in today's session I will go and discuss about the single level approvals, guys. So I don't want to keep the HR columns here. Remove the HR column and HR comments and this attachments column. So how to go and remove this? Select the form, go to the fields, and here you are able to see whatever the fields I'm able to see in the form, those fields you are able to see it here. So let me go and remove the attachments column. Let me go and remove the HR comments, and also let me go and remove the HR. So I want to keep only these columns into this. Next, I want to, currently this form is in the 3 columns. I want to keep it in only 1 column. Let me change the number of columns to 1, and also change the layout to horizontal. So this is the form I am creating here, guys. And also let me remove this manager comments. By default, whenever the employee is submitting, so no need to go and display the manager comments, guys. Let me go and remove the manager comments also here. So these are them. And also let me remove the status. No need to go and keep the status also. So while submitting the leave request, I don't want to show the status also. So these are the fields I want to go and display in that form. So next, I want to rearrange the fields here, guys. What's my requirement here is, I want to keep the leave type as a first column and description in the second place. So how to go and rearrange it? Select the form, go to the edit fields. Let's just drag and drop. Select the leave type and keep it on the top. Second one is description, from date to date and manager. Now this description is a multi-line of text, right? So the employee need to go and keep the multiple lines. Why the reason the employee is taking the leave? So here, let me go and increase the height of this. Let me go and increase the height of the description. Keep it like this. And also let me reduce the size of this date, guys, date column. Let me reduce some size. Reduce the width. Let me reduce the width for this one also. And let me reduce the width for the manager. Let me keep it like this. Now this is the form I'm creating. So what I'm doing here, guys, I'm creating one form like structure. So let me select the form. Just 1 second. It's not selecting. Just save it. Publish. I think that it is stuck. It. Let me select the form. It is not selecting. Just refresh it once. Fine. Let me reduce the height. Let me keep the form like this, guys. Just increase the height of this. So just increase the height. Select this. Just increase the height for this. Let me increase the height of this one also. Let me increase the height for this one. Fine. This is the form I'm having. Now I want to go and keep the leave type. So one, I want to go and keep the description from date to date and manager name. Once after submitting the form, so once after creating the form, I want to go and submit the form, guys. In order to go and submit the form, let me go and keep one button here. I want to go and add one button to submit the form. So let me go and add one button. Let me go and select one control called button control. Keep the button here. So let me change the text of this button to submit. Let me change the text of this button to what? Submit. Select the button. And next, let me change the font size to 26. Let me increase the size. So this is the button I'm keeping. So once after entering the details, what is the leave type, description, from date to date and manager, I want to go and click on submit. Once if I click on the submit, whatever the data you are entering here, this data will go and submit to where, guys? Data sources. What's my data source I'm taking here? SharePoint is my data source. So in order to go and submit the form, select the go to the submit button. Submit button will have one property called on select property. By default, it is false. Now I want to do what here? I want to submit the form. Which form? Form 1. Once after submitting the form, I want to make this form as a new form. Once after submitting the form, I want to make that form as what? New form. Which form I want to make it as new? Form 1. So this is the code I am writing. So whenever I go and click on this button, what need to happen? It need to go and submit the form and also make the form as a new form. So first of all, select the form. By default, the form mode is what? Edit. Let me change it to new. Let me change it to new. Now save it and then play. Now here, guys, the employee can go and select the leave type. What's the leave type? Casual leave, medical leave, and paid leave. Let's take the casual leave. So what's the description? Let's say I'm keeping the description as festival. So from date, so today onwards, today and tomorrow, today and tomorrow, I'm going to take the leave. Click on OK. From date and to date. Next, go and select the manager. Who is the manager? Let's say I'm going to select the manager as Sunil. I'm going to select the manager as what? Sunil. Now see, I'm going to enter the, I'm going to raise the leave request case. I'm submitting the leave request here. Once after entering the details, I'm going to click on submit. Once if I click on submit, what happens? I'm going to submit the leave request. Now when I click on the submit button, now what will happen? The data will go and store in the data sources. Let me go to the data source. Let me check. Now the data is submitted or not. Yes. Now this is the record I'm submitting, guys. Casual leave, festival is the description, from date to date, status is by default, the status is what? Submitted. And who is the manager? I'm selecting Sunil is my manager. Now this is once after submitting the record into the data source. Now I want to send one email to that student. Your leave request has been submitted successfully. Once after sending the email to the student or employee, next I want to go and send the approval request to the manager. Who is the manager? Sunil. So I want to send one approval request to the manager, that whether the manager wants to approve or reject the leave request. This is what my requirement. So I'm having one SharePoint list. I'm having one form in the Power Apps. So whenever the employee wants to submit the leave request, they can go and open this app and they can go and submit the leave request. Once the employee submit the leave request, the data comes into the data sources. Whenever the data comes into the data sources, I want to go and do some automations. So what is the automation? First, send the email to the employee regarding the leave request has been submitted. Next, send an approval request to the manager, that is Sunil Kumar. Now how to go and do it? Now in order to go into the automations, automatically I want to go and do some automations, case. So let me go and use the Power Automate. Let me go to this. Let me select the Power Automate. Let me go and open the Power Automate. Now by using Power Automate, I want to go and start the approval process, case. How to go and assign the approval request to the manager as a Sunil. So I'm opening the Power Automate. Let me go to the create tab, guys. I want to go and create one flow now. So now tell me what type of flow I want to create. Whether I want to create the automated cloud flow, scheduled cloud flow, or instant cloud flow. What type of cloud flow I want to go and select here? I want to go and select the automated cloud flow. Why? Because when I want to go and run the flow, whenever the employee is submitting the leave request, then only I want to run the flow. Once the employee submit the leave request, the data comes into where? Data sources. Whenever the data comes into the data sources, I want to go and do what? Automations. So go and select the leave flow type as what? Go and select the flow type as automated cloud flow. Select this and let me keep the flow name, guys. What's the flow name? Leave approval. Let me keep the flow name as what? Leave approval. Next, when I want this is the flow name. Now I said that what is the first step in a flow? Trigger. When I want to run this flow case, when an item is created, where? In the SharePoint list. In the SharePoint list, whenever the item is created, then I want to go and run this flow. Now go and select the trigger as what? When an item is created. Select the trigger and click on what? Create. Just go and click on create case. When I click on create, now it is going to allows us to create the flow. Switch back to the old designer. Switch back to the old designer. Now we need to go and pass the site address and list name. Now in which site and what is the list? So here I need to go and enter the site and list name. So whenever the data is entered into this list, leave approval, which is there in the Power Automate flows, then only I want to go and run this flow. So when I want to run this flow, when an item is created, where the item is created, what is the site? Let me go and select the site as Power Automate flows. So this is the site I want to select. Power Automate flows is my site. Select this. And what is the list name? Automatically displays the list names in that site. What's the site? What's the list name? Leave approvals. Next one, this is the trigger case. When an item is created, where? In the Power Automate flows, in this list, whenever the item is created, next, what actions you want to take? This is the first step, trigger. Next, I want what the flow contains. First step is trigger. Next, what the flow contains, actions. Now what action I want to take? Go and select the new step case. Go and select the new step. So what is the action I want to take here is, whenever the employee is submitting the leave request, by default, what is the status? By default, the status is submitted. I want to change the status to waiting for manager approval. I want to change the status to what? Waiting for manager approval. So let me go and add one action, update items or update item. So I want to update an item case. So go and select an action. What is the action? Now see, currently it is selecting what? Actions. Now what is the action you want to take? The first action I want to take is go and update the items. So let me select the update item. So where I want to update the item? Site address. What's the site? In which site you want to update the items? In the Power Automate flows. Go and select the site as Power Automate flows and select the list name. What's my list name? Where I want to update? In the leave approvals. Now here you need to pass the ID. So what ID I want to go and pass it here is, which record is inserted, that record will have one unique ID case. That ID I want to go and mention it here. So go and select what? Go to the dynamic content. When an item is created, for that item it is going to maintain one ID. Let me go and select that ID here. Next, remaining I don't want to update case. Description I want to keep it as same. I don't want to update. Leave type I don't want to update. From date to date, manager name, manager comments. I don't want to update remaining fields. I want to update only what? Status. By default the status is what? Submitted. I want to update to what? I want to update the status to waiting for manager approval. Let me change it to what? Waiting for manager approval case. This is the status. Whenever the employee is submitting, first I want to go and change the status to waiting for manager approval. Now once after update the item, that is status to what? Waiting for manager approval. Next, what is the action I want to take? I want to send an email to the employee. Go and select an action, send an email. To whom I want to send the email now? Employee. So go and select the action as what? So the action I'm going to select here is send an email. So to whom I want to send the email? Employee who is submitting the leave request. So to whom? To address. So if I enter my email ID here, what happens? So every time it is going to send the email to myself. So it is not my requirement. So which employee is submitting the leave request? To that employee, I want to send the email. What is that email? Your leave request has been submitted successfully. So go to the to address, go to the dynamic content, add dynamic content, and here you are able to see when an item is created, there are two things is there, guys. Created by email, modified by email. So let me go and select what? Created by email. That means whoever is creating that record, who is going to create that record, which employee is submitting the leave request, that employee is going to create that record. So let me go and set what here? Created by email. Which employee is submitting the leave request? That employee email I want to go and mention here. To address. Next, what is the subject? Leave request has been submitted. Let me keep the subject as Your leave request has been submitted. So this is the subject case. Next, what is the body? Hi. Hi. I want to mention the employee name here, guys. Which employee is submitting a leave request? That employee name I want to mention. So go to the dynamic content again. Scroll down. Scroll down. You are able to see here called when an item is created. When an item is created, these are the items I'm having. So from here, I want to go and select what? Created by display name. Which employee is submitting the leave request? That employee name I want to go and select. Let me go and select what? Created by display name. Go and select this one. So hi, whoever the employee is submitting the leave request, for that employee, I'm sending one email. So hi, the name is, let's say, Anil. Your leave request has been submitted successfully. Your leave request has been submitted successfully. Waiting for manager approval. Waiting for manager approval. So this is the body I want to keep. Next, let me keep here. Thanks. Thanks. Whatever it is. I'm keeping here AB trainings. So let me keep this in the bold. So this is the message I want to send, guys. To whom? Which employee submitted the leave request? To that employee I want to submit. Created by whoever is creating that item. To them I want to send. Your leave request has been submitted. Success. Your leave request has been submitted. Subject is that body. Hi. Let's say myself I'm submitting. Hi Venki. Your leave request has been submitted successfully. Waiting for manager approval. Thanks. AB trainings. So this is the message I want to send. Now once after sending the message email to the employee, next what is the action I want to take? Next I want to go and start the approval process, guys. Next I need to go and start what? Approval process. Now let me go and search for approval. Now see here you are able to see the approvals. What are the different types of approvals is there? Now let me go and select one of the approval. Start and wait for an approval. I want to start the approval. I want to send an approval request, and then I want to wait for the approval, whether the manager can approve or reject. Start and wait for an approval. Select this action. Start and wait for an approval. Now let me go and select the approval type here, guys. We have the different types of approval types is here. So let me select the approval type as first to respond. Let me select the approval type as what? First to respond. Next, once after this, now there are some mandatory fields you need to pass. Title and assign to. Let me keep the title as what's the leave type, guys. So what is the type of leave the employee is asking? Let me select the leave type, or let me scroll down. From here, better to go and select from where? Created by. So there is something called created by. When an item is created, from here let me go and select the leave type. What is the leave type the employee is asking? Next, assigned. To whom you are assigning this request, guys? So okay, the employee is submit the leave request. Now I want to assign this approval request to whom? So let me go to the assign to, go to the dynamic content and go to the created by. So when an item is created, now here let me go and select the manager value. There is something called what? Manager values. Now when I go and select this manager value, now what is happening here, guys? Which whenever the employee is submitting the leave request, which manager the employee is selecting? The manager is selecting whom as a manager. So here the employee is selecting as a manager whom? Sunil. So I'm going to assign this leave request to whom? Sunil Kumar. So assign to whom you want to assign? Whoever the employee is selecting as a managers, to that manager I want to go and assign this approval request. Next, in the details, you want to keep the description, means you can keep. These are not mandatory fields, you can ignore. But in the details, I can go and keep the description, guys. Let me go to the created by, and here I will take the description. So what is the description of that leave request? I will mention here. So this is the leave request I'm going to raise here. Sorry, approval request, case. I'm going to raise an approval request. So approval type is first to respond. What is that type? Type means what is the leave type the employee is taking. I'm mentioning here the leave type assigned to whoever the employee is selecting as a manager. To that manager, I want to go and send the email or an approval request. Next, I'm keeping the description. What is the description of that leave request? Once after this, once after raising the approval request, next I want to go and take a condition here, guys. What's my condition is, once if you assign the leave request, once if you assign this approval to the manager can approve or the manager can reject. Both can happen. If the manager can approve the leave request or the manager can reject the leave request. If the manager can approve the leave request, what the things I need to perform? If the manager can reject, what the things I need to go and do? So I'm going to take one condition here, if condition, guys. I'm going to take one condition. So let me go here and take what? Condition. Condition means if condition, guys. So let me take the condition. Now see, it is adding one condition here. Yes or no. Now here I want to define the condition, guys. What's my condition? If the manager is, if the output, if the manager is approved, then what I want to do? Yes. If the manager is approved, what I want to do? If the manager is not approved, what I want to do? So let me go here and select the outcome of the previous step, outcome of the approval. So this is the approval request, right? I'm raising one approval, I'm sending one approval request to the manager. The outcome may be manager can approve or reject. Let me select the outcome, guys. What the condition is, the outcome of the previous step is equals to approve. The outcome of the previous step is equals to approve. Then what actions you want to take? Then yes, if this condition is true, if the condition is true, then what I want to perform? So here, let me go and add an action, guys. Let me go and click on add an action. Now what action I want to take here is, once the manager is approved, then I want to go and update. I want to go and update the items in the SharePoint list. Update an item. So go and select what? Update item. So once the manager is approved, so I want to update the status, guys. I want to update the status to what? Approved. I want to update the status to approve. So let me go and update the status to approve. So in which site you want to update the status? Power Automate Flows. Select the site as Power Automate Flows and list name is what? Leave approvals. Select the list name as leave approvals. Next, ID. What is the ID? Go and select the updated ID. So go and select this. Next, what I want to do here, I want to change the status to what? I want to go and change the status to approved. So if the manager is approved, if the outcome is true, if the outcome is approved, that means if the condition is true, then go and change the status to what? Approve. I want to change the status to approve. And also I want to mention here manager comments. So while approving the request, the manager give some comments. I want to mention here what? Manager comments. Go to the manager comments. Here I don't want to hard code it, guys. I don't want to hard code them. Go to the manager comments. Go to the manager comments. Now go to the dynamic content. If you scroll down, here you are able to see an option called responses comments. You are able to see what? Responses comments. Now select this response comments. Whatever the comments, the responder, who is the responder? Manager. So whatever the comments the manager is providing, I want to go and keep those here. So it is going to apply to each guest. So it is applying one more loop here it is creating. So what I'm mentioning here, whatever the comments the manager is providing, I want to mention those comments here. So once the manager is approved, if the outcome of this step is equals to approve, then update the status to approve and then keep the manager comments here. Once after this, what I want to do, I want to go and send an email to the employee. Once after this, I want to do what? I want to send an email to whom? To the employee. Go and set what? Send an email version 2. So to whom you want to send the email? To the employee again I want to send the email. Regarding what? Regarding that leave request has been approved by the manager. So go to the dynamic content. Now go to the, when an item is created, go and select what? Created by email. So I want to send the email to the employee again. So now I want to go and send the email to the employee created by email. Now what is the subject? Let me keep the subject as approved. Now let me keep the body. Now what's the body I want to keep here, guys? Let me go and keep the body as your leave request has been approved by the manager. hi, I want to mention the name of that employee here. Now scroll down. You are able to see something here called created by email. Now let me go scroll down here. Here you are able to see created by display name. Select this. Keep comma. Keep it in the bold. Next. What is that body I want to keep here? Your leave request has been. I don't want to keep here approve guys. I want to mention here the outcome of the previous step. So outcome of the approval. So your leave request has been approved. So if you go here, dynamic content, there is something called start and wait for an approval. So here you are able to see what outcome. So select this. So if I select this, what is happening here? Your leave request has been approved. So it is approved guys. So outcome of the previous step. So let me change it to keep it in the bold. Your leave request has been approved by the manager. Who is the manager? Here I want to go and mention the approver's display name. So if you go to the dynamic content, approvers, responses, approver's name. So whoever is responding, whoever is approved, I want to mention that name here. So let me keep it in the bold. I want to keep this one also in the bold. So what is the body I'm keeping here, guys? Your hi, let's say myself, I'm submitting the request. Hi, Venki. Your leave request has been approved. What is the outcome? Approved by the manager. Next, let me keep here the comments. MGR comments. Manager comments. Whatever the comments the manager is providing, I want to mention those comments here, guys. What are the comments the manager is providing? Let me go and mention those comments here. Keep it in the bold. Now I want to go and mention the manager comments. So how to correct the manager comments? Go and select what? Responses comments. Go and select what? Responses comments. Whatever the comments the responder is giving, that comments I want to go and mention here. Next. Thanks. AB trainings. Keep it in the bold. So this is the message I want to send. When I want to go and send this message, when I need to go and send this message, if the outcome of this approval, if the manager is approve, the outcome is equals to approve, then go and update the items to what? Status to approve. And I want to mention here the responses comments. Once after updating the data, go and send the email to the employee that your leave request has been approved by the manager. What are the comments the manager is providing? Next, suppose try to understand guys. If the manager is not approved, if the outcome of this step is not equals to approve, not equals to approve means the manager is rejected. So if the manager is rejected, then what actions I want to take? If this condition is true, this is the actions I want to take. If the condition is false, then what actions you want to take? Let me go and add an action. So here also I want to update the item. Go on search here for what? Update item. So I want to update the item in the SharePoint list. So what is the site? Power Automate flows. What's the list name? Leave approvals. What's the ID? Updated ID. Next, what I want to change the status to what? I want to go and change the status to reject. Now let me go and keep here the manager comments. I want to mention the comments here. Whatever the comments the manager is providing, I want to go and mention those comments here. Now go and select what? Responses comments. Let me go and select the responses comments. Now once after updating the item or once after updating the status and then manager comments, next go and send an email to that employee. Here also I want to go and send an email guys. Regarding what now? That your leave request has been rejected by the manager. Select the send an email. So to whom I want to send? Go to the dynamic content. So whoever is creating, to that person I want to send the email. Next, subject. What is the subject? Rejected. Hi. Display name. Created by display name. Keep it in the bold. Hi, created by display name. Your leave request has been, let me keep here the outcome of the previous step, guys. Oh, your leave request has been rejected. So let me go and select the outcome of the responses comments. Go to the responses, go to the responses, go and select what? Outcome. Outcome of the step. Now here the outcome is what? Rejected. So let me go and keep it in the bold. Your leave request has been rejected by whom? Responses display name. Let me go and mention here responses approver name. Let me keep this one also in the bold. Your leave request has been rejected by the manager. Whatever the manager name. Next, let me go and keep here manager comments. Let me keep the manager comments here. Keep it in the bold. Let me go and mention the manager comments. Select the responses comments. Why the manager is not approving your leave request? What is the reason he is rejecting? Let me go and mention the responses comments. Next, thanks. AB trainings. Fine. Now this is the flow I am creating here, guys. So try to understand. Let me go and explain again here once. What I am doing here is nothing. So when an item is created, first when an item is created, the status is submitted. Let me go and change it to what? Let me change the status to what? Waiting for manager approval, and then go and send an email to the employee that your leave request has been submitted. Hi Vinky, your leave request has been submitted successfully, waiting for manager approval. Once after sending the email to the employee, then go and start the approval process. Send that leave request to the manager. Start the approval. So I want to assign that request to the manager, whoever the manager the employee is selecting here. Whoever the manager the employee is selecting, I want to assign this request to that manager. Next, once after assigning the request, now if the outcome of this step, if the manager is approved, the outcome of this step is equals to approve, then yes, what I want to do, first go and update the items to what? Let me state the status to approve, and I want to keep here the responses comments. Whatever the comments the responder is keeping, I want to keep it. Next, once after updating the items, send an email to whom? To the employee. You approved. Subject is what? Approved. Your leave request has been approved by the manager. What are the manager comments? So next, if the manager is not approved, so if this step is, if the outcome of this previous step is not equals to approve, that means it is rejected. If the manager is rejected, then what I want to do? So let me go and change the status to what? Reject. And I want to mention here what? Manager comments. And then once after updating the items, go and send the email to the employee. So that what is the email? Your leave request has been rejected by the manager. And what's the comments of that manager? This is the flow I'm creating here, guys. So simple. So this is the flow I'm creating. These are the steps involved in this flow. These are steps I'm keeping in this flow. Let me reduce. You can see it better way. Now this is the flow I'm creating. These are the steps involved in it. Now, once after creating the flow, let me check the flow is having any errors or not. Let me save the flow first. Let me check the flow is having any errors. If the flow is doesn't having any errors, then I can go and run this flow now. Fine. It is telling that your flow is ready to go. We'll recommend you to test it. Now test the flow. Go and click on what? Test. When I click on test, go and test the flow manually for the first time. Click on save it and test. Fine. Now what is they are telling? They're telling us go and add an item in the SharePoint list but to check the flow is working or not. So let me go and remove this item. Let me go and remove it. Now let me go and add submit one leave request case. Let's say the leave request is casual leave. Let me keep it as festival leave I'm taking. So from date today onwards 25th. Next, what's the to date? From today and tomorrow, I'm going to take the leave. Manager, who is the manager? Let me select the manager as Sunil. I'm going to select the manager as what? Sunil. Now, once after entering them, once after keeping the details, now go and click on what? Submit. When I click on the submit, what happens? The data comes into the data sources. Now see, when I go and click on refresh, now the data will be submitted to the data source. Now whenever the data submitted, first I want to change the status to waiting for HR manager approval. And also I want to go and send an email to the employee and then send the request to the manager. Let me go and check the flow. Now see, it is telling that your flow is running. Now see guys, so up to here it is done, these three steps. Now it is sending the approval request to the manager. Now it is waiting for the request, so the manager can approve or reject. So before going for the manager approval, let me show you myself I received an email or not. Let me go and log in my email. So I'm logging into my Gmail. So that means Outlook, guys. I'm logging to my Outlook. Now I'm submit the leave request, right? Now see, just now I received the email. So what's that email? Hi Venki. Hi Venki Challa. Your leave request has been submitted. Waiting for the manager approval. Waiting for whom? Manager approval. So here, what is the subject? Your leave request has been submitted. Now I'm receiving the email that my leave request has been submitted. Now who I am selecting as a manager? Sunil Kumar. Now I'm logging as a Sunil here, guys. So if you see, I'm logging as a Sunil Kumar. So if you see, I'm logging in the incognito window as Sunil. So now I'm logging as Sunil in the Power Automate, and also I'm logging here in the Outlook. Outlook also I'm logging in. Now see, just now I received the leave request here. Just now I received it. Casual leave. When I go and click on it, now see, so that manager, whoever I'm selecting as a manager, manager also will receive an email. What is that mail? So that mail is recording the approval. So from where is getting this? Power Automate. So I said that what's the description? What's the details? Casual leave. And who is requesting that leave? Myself, Vinky Challa. Now the manager can approve or reject. Now here itself the manager can approve it or the manager can reject it from the Outlook. So if you want to approve it from the Outlook, can approve or go to the Power Automate. In the Power Automate, go to the My Flows. So here you are able to see the flows that are created by myself. That is Sunil Kumar. But I want to go and see what. Just refresh it once. Let me go to the my. There is something called approvals case. Let me go to the approvals. When I go to the approvals, now see, just few minutes back I received one request. 25th today, 2 minutes back. So this is casual leave is the request. So now here you can see whether you want to approve or reject the leave. So when I go and click on approve, now see, here I can go and approve it. So let me scroll down. Choose your responses. What's the response? Whether you want to approve, reject, or reassign. I want to approve it. So what's the comments? So let me keep the comments as approved. Enjoy the festival. So this is the comments I'm keeping it. This is the manager comments, and the manager is responding to what? Approved. Now go and click on what? Confirm. Now when I click on confirm, now the flow will run the remaining process case. Now see, your response has been submitted successfully. Now when I go to my flow, when I go to the flow, now see, now the flow is running still, but here you will get the message as what? Success. Your flow ran successfully. But let me go and check my Outlook. Now see, in the Outlook I received the email. What's that email I received? So if you go and check in the Outlook, I am missing the email. Approved. Hi Venki Challa, your leave request has been approved. By whom? By Sunil. Now what's the comments the manager is keeping? Approved. Enjoy the festival. And also when I go to the SharePoint list, now see, when I refresh the SharePoint list, now the status is changed to what? Approved. And what is the manager comments I'm mentioning here? So whatever the comments the manager is providing, that comments also I'm able to go and update it here, guys. Approved. Enjoy the festival. So if I go to my flow, still it is showing that flow is running. Maybe anyway, it is stuck in between. I am getting the email that your leave request has been approved by the manager. So the status is approved. Whom it is approving? Sunil Kumar is the approved. And comments is what? Approved by the approved. Enjoy the festival. So the same comments I'm able to capture, and I'm able to go and keep it here also. And also I'm changing the status to what? Finally approved. So this is what, how to go and keep the approval request case. So what I'm doing here, first If you want to submit the leave request, go to the app, open this application, enter the details, go and click on submit. Once if I click on submit, the data comes to the data sources. Once the data comes into the data sources, now go and use the Power Automate. Just go to the My Flows, click on edit. Now, whenever the request employee submit the leave request, whenever the data comes into the data sources, now go and update. Once after updating, what I want to update here, status to waiting for manager approval. Once after update, go and send an email to that employee regarding that your leave request has been submitted successfully. Next, start the approval process. Once after starting the approval process, wait for the response. If the response is equals to true, that means approve, then these are the actions I want to take. If the response is false, if this condition is false, that means the manager is rejected, then I want to go and perform these actions. So this is what how to go and you the assign the approvals case, how to go and take the approvals from the managers. Let me go and submit one more student details case. Let me go and submit it one more time. So let me go and go to the Power Apps. Let me select the type as paid leave. Let's say I'm keeping here traveling. I mean the traveling. So from date, let's take from tomorrow. I want to take for 3 days leave. Up to Thursday, I'm going to take the leave. 4 days leave. 3 days or 3 days. So let me select the manager as what? Sunil. Now click on what? Submit. Once if I click on the submit, what happens? I need to go and receive the email here. So once let me go and check the record is submitted or not first of all. So yes, the record is submitted. Once the record is submitted, the flow need to run. If the flow runs, I want to go and receive the email. Still I haven't received. Let me do one thing. I think the flow hasn't run because I'm editing that flow, right? It's taking some time. Yes, I received just now, guys. Now see what's that email? Hi Venkichala, your leave request has been submitted, waiting for the manager approval. If you go to the SharePoint, now when I go and refresh it once, now here it will change the status to what? Waiting for manager approval. So who is the manager? Sunil. Let me go and log in as Sunil, guys. Now when I go to this, now see, just 21 minutes back, I received this. 21 seconds back. Just you want to approve or reject it. I want to approve. Let's just go and click on approve or reject this. Let's say I want to go and reject this one. Paid leave. So let me click on reject. So response is what? Reject. What's the comments? Rejected. No leave. Rejected. I'm rejecting it. Click on confirm. Now I'm going to reject the leave request. So now click on done. Once after rejecting the leave request, now I need to receive the email. Let me check I received the email or not. So let me go and log into my Outlook. This is the Outlook, my Outlook. So now see, just now I received the email what? Rejected. So hi Venkichala, your leave request has been rejected by whom? Sunil. So what is the comments? No leave rejected. So let me go to the SharePoint. Now let me go and refresh the SharePoint list. Now here guys, what is the status? Rejected. So what is the comments? No leave, your leave request has been rejected. So like this, whenever the employee is submitting the leave request, how to assign that request to the manager? If you want to assign those requests to the manager means we need to go and use what? We need to go and use the approvals. So with the help of the approvals, you are able to go and assign the uh, request to the manager. If the manager is approved, then I'm taking one condition. If the output is equals to true, that is approve, then go and perform some actions. If it is not equals to approve, that means the manager is rejected. I want to go and perform some actions. So this is what how to go and use the approvals case. How to go and use the approvals. So here I discussed about only one level approval, that is single level approval in today's class. In the next class, we'll go and discuss about what? Multi-level approvals. That is tomorrow, we'll go and discuss about how to get the approvals from the manager and also from the HR. So in today's class, I'm getting the approvals from whom? From only manager. Once the manager is approved, then I want to go and assign that leave request to the HR. Now the HR can reject or approve. Now if the HR approved, what happens? If the HR rejected, then what need to do? So how to go and take the approvals from the both HR and manager? We'll go and discuss it in the tomorrow's class. And also we'll discuss one more, that is auto approve. How to go and automatically approve or reject the approvals that is required. What once the employee is requested the leave, so by let's say the manager wants to auto approve it or the manager wants to auto reject it, then how to auto approve or how to reject, we'll be discussing in the day of tomorrow's class. So there are two more classes. We'll go and discuss about record the approvals, but tomorrow we'll go and discuss about multi-level, and day after tomorrow we'll go and discuss about something called how to auto approve or